Yeah.
All right. So hold on. Wait, hold on real quick. Hi everybody. This is Pushing Boundaries, and having a little bit of a problem. Hold on. Let's do that. And
There you are.
let's do that. And let's do that. Okay, we'll go with that for right now. Hi. So
Hey, Robert.
I'm trying this new overlay thing, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So this is the Recovery Mode podcast from Pushing Boundaries. My name is Robert Knowles. We have been reviewing, and since this new thing, but we've been reviewing recovery mode of what schools will look like post-COVID, post-pandemic. All educators, as you can see at the bottom, you can actually go to pushboundconsulting.com. You can actually download this manuscript of 16 different educators, educational leaders, administrators that put this together for free. Yes, I said free.
That's my favorite price.
Yes, that is everyone's favorite price, especially now. For free, to talk about anything that's going on with education, what schools should look like in the fall, what they might look like. And we're just trying to get the conversation started for everyone. And one of my big educational heroes, the Zen master himself, the Zen Teacher, Dan Tricarico, thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate your time.
Oh, of course.
I'm
honored to be part of this.
He's at sunny San Diego. I'm not jealous at all. I mean, it is a nice 72, 73, a little cloudy. Yeah. I'm in Chicago, so
Chicago, okay.
Yeah, it's a little cloudy over here, a little,
I have good friends there. Yeah,
it's been raining a little bit here and there, so what are you gonna do? So, first thing, Dan, is like I always ask, who is Dan Tricarico? Who are you, sir? How did you get to this day?
Oh gosh, I've been spending 56 years trying to answer that question.
You're not 56, please. Don't
I am. Yeah.
Hey, wait. You know what? You want to take a guess at mine?
Not on live television.
But I'm 46.
I was going to say 29. So
46. I'm going to wear this. I'm going to wear it.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
You be you. You do you.
I'm going to try. But who are you, sir? How did you get to this spot?
Well, I'll share a couple details with you. I mentioned before we started going that I was born and raised in San Diego. I feel very grateful to be here. I never take it for granted. And I currently work at a school called West Hills High School. And I would have gone to that school because it's in the town that I grew up in, a little town called Santee, but it wasn't there. And so when I finally was looking for a teaching job and they hired me, I joke with my students. I said, instead of spending 4 years there, I got to spend 29 years there. So I've been there 29 years. And one thing that I always like to point out, because it's so special to me and it's so rare for teachers, is I've been in the same classroom the entire time.
Wow.
And which is crazy, even to stay at the same school that long. But I absolutely love my school. It's just an unbelievably, school that has like high standards and wonderful people. And so I've really, really loved it. But what happened is, and it has more to do with education than my school, but it certainly trickled down in my school, experiences too, is that about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe close to 10 years ago, the education profession, as I'm sure a lot of you know, got a little crazy. And, they just kept putting things on and putting things on and putting things on. And, the testing machine was out of control and class sizes were exploding and there just wasn't enough funds for everybody. And I feel like I live and work in a fairly, average area where we have most of the things we need, and we were still feeling it. And we lost several teachers in my own department within the space of a 3-year period, just from burnout, just from I can't take it anymore. And I was looking around, Robert, and I was like, I can't do this. I have to find a way to get through. I was about 10 years away from retirement, and I thought I have to figure out a way. And I was a drama major and an actor, and I thought back to the acting classes where the teachers talked about mindfulness and a present moment awareness and being in the moment and breathing exercises and being relaxed but ready to go, calm but ready to perform. And I said, that's what teachers need. And so I started a blog called the Zen Teacher. And then I was lucky enough to have it turned into a book. And that really changed my life. And I did not expect to have a new calling in the twilight of my career, going around helping teachers take care of themselves, but it is so desperately needed. And I realized early on it was bigger than me. I say I write everything, the book, the blogs, the podcast, everything are reminders for me, but other people are saying it's helping them too. And so, I mean, what could be better than that? You know, we all want to have an impact as teachers, and we certainly do with our students. And now I'm fortunate enough to be on a path where I get to have an impact on the teachers as well. So that's been super fun.
I have to just as a shameless plug, the Zen Teacher helped me. I mean, I was at a point where I needed to take a step back and everything else. And I come across Dave Burgess's publishing, and you know, obviously you're under that banner with the Zen Teacher, and read it, and yeah, it does do what it says it's going to do. So
wow, you know, that's amazing. Thank you.
Definitely with the mindfulness and everything else, and taking a step back, because we want to make sure that all educators can be here for as long as they can and not burn out. As you see, and I'm sure you do, you see so many teachers burn out over time. And if they just take that step and breathe and take a step back and really understand why they're here and not get burnt out, it just, you know, teacher burnout is real. And I'm sure anyone who watches this now or later will know, it's like that everyone will shake their head like, yeah. It's like,
yeah, I know what's going on with that. Yeah, I'm sure that
year 3, year 6, and year 12, and I'm only 7 years in the game, and you know, and I know at the age of 60, 65, I'll still have burnout, and I'll have burnout a lot of times beforehand. So
right, and it's about how do you cope with that? I mean, because that is a normal process to go through, but then when you experience it, what do you do? And we live in such a crazy culture where it's go, 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 go. And the things that you were talking about and that I've been talking about and that are in the book are considered subversive. We don't value them. Things like slowing down, things like stillness and silence, and you know, the mindfulness and gratitude. I mean, like, people just don't take the time to do those things because they think they have to keep going. So you're going to ruffle some feathers. You know, people are going to look at you funny if you're doing things differently than everybody else. But I'm here to tell you it's okay. And the greatest thing that I think I can do with this message is be that little voice that says, you know what, it's okay. You have permission to do that. And I think that's been a helpful thing.
Definitely.
Because I didn't invent mindfulness. I didn't invent meditation. I didn't invent gratitude. You know, that's not my stuff. I can't put a little TM trademark on that. But I can say I'm the guy who says in your ear, it's okay for you to do that.
Because, you know, and obviously you're coming from a place where you're coming from a lot of education. It's not like you travel to the Middle East or the Orient, and, you know, it's like you prayed and you got this mindfulness. No, it's just this is what you've done.
Yeah.
When it comes to recovery mode and the manuscript that brought it all together, what do you think is the biggest thing when it comes to mindfulness and this pandemic and for teachers? Because I don't know about you, but I've struggled. I mean, I know a lot of my teacher friends have struggled. I've only been in the game 7-8 years, and I've had other cohorts that have been here 20 plus years, and they're struggling as well. What can you share with everyone that would help them see the light at the end of the tunnel during this time?
Well, first of all, I understand the struggle because I'm looking here and I need a haircut. I've been in quarantine for 9 weeks or something. But no, and I'm teasing, of course. I mean, this has been I'm an old guy, and I say I've never seen anything like this before in my life. I think it's been like 100 years since the 1918 Spanish flu epidemic. Right. This is I hate the word unprecedented now. I before this, but I do now. And I think what I wrote about in Recovery Mode, which I think is really important for people to remember, is that idea of mindfulness, and you called it taking a step back, which I think is important. And knowing that as we pass through this, I don't think things will not go back to the way they were. It's going to be a quote unquote new normal, as people are saying. But when you transition back, take your time. Don't rush into it. Go at your own speed. Be thoughtful and intentional about what you want it to look like. I have said, I've heard this called the great pause, which I think is perfect. We've never had an opportunity, even though, there's illness out there and people are getting sick and dying, unfortunately, but we have an opportunity that we've never seen before to reflect on what's going on and decide how we want things to look moving forward. I've never had as much time to myself to just think about and reflect on, what do I want to have happen? Now, I know myself and I know society in general, I know people. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be super easy to get right back on that hamster wheel, right back on that merry-go-round and just go, 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 go. But what if you stopped and said, I want it to look a little bit different than it was before we started all this. I don't want to be as busy. I don't want to be as active, because what we've seen, frankly, Robert, is that there are no guarantees, and you can plan and plan and plan, and the universe has different ideas, and it's going to do what it does. So why not, I've said, and it feels like this is not a neener, but I've just been so grateful that I put this into practice, 5-6 years ago, whatever it was, because when this hit, I was like, all right, I can do this. I can, it's just one day at a time. It's be mindful. It's intentional. What do I want today to look like? Right. I don't know what's going to happen in the fall. My school district doesn't know what it's going to look like in the fall, and that's okay. I don't have to know that right now. Right. And that has been really, really calming for me and soothing for me to not have to worry about it. But also I need to honor my privilege here. I was able to keep my job. I was able to keep my paycheck. And I know that there is rampant unemployment and people who lost all kinds of things that I did not lose. So it's easy for me to say that. But I think everybody has an opportunity to stop and say, what do I want it to look like? And that you don't have to rush that.
And that's the one thing, and I have to echo that as well, is that I have so many friends and people that are in my circle that are worried about what will happen 3 weeks from now, what will happen 6 months from now. And it's like, what will happen today?
That's all we've got.
That's all we've got is today. And it's like, okay, then when we get tomorrow, like my wife, it just, everyone you get to it is like, I have people in my family just, well, we got to do this tomorrow. We got to do this next week. I'm just like, how about let's get through today? Then move forward. And it stresses so many people that I see all the time. And it just, I don't know why. I mean, do you think school's going to look the same? I mean, how different do you think school's going to be?
If
you were to wave the magic wand, I mean, what do you think?
Well, that's a whole different broadcast, Robert, because
we don't have 4 hours here.
I have a lot of ideas on that. But I think it's going to be different. And I think at the very least, they're going to be trying to navigate social distancing. They're going to have to put desks apart. It might make them aware of how important smaller class sizes is for academically, right? Let alone, for health reasons. But, I think there are some wake up calls coming, and that's good. I think I said that this was an opportunity, I think that the clearest example is that standardized testing went away and nobody died, right? And I would say it's a measurement, but we treat it like it's the measurement. And it just has not been terribly helpful to me in my teaching practice, and all of my students turned out fine. Okay. I'm not saying we shouldn't have accountability. We absolutely should. But things like that, I think, are the things that we're going to look at and go, that didn't matter, And I hope people reflect on that and decide we have an opportunity to just make education what it could be, should be, instead of what it has been, although much of it is great. So it's reflection. It's looking at it and saying, hey, what do we want it to look like? But it's not going to look the same.
Yeah, and I've seen so many people worry about that, and again, worrying about the 6 months from now, but not taking the time now. Like people are like, well, what are you doing during this time? Well, I'm Netflix binging, I'm watching my phone and everything. And it's like, read a book, just read a book. Just do something. I mean, obviously educators, yourself and myself, grading and everything else. We just finished our grading window. So the grades have come in, and, now we're talking about next year and what possibly that will look. It's just a weird time. I just wish people can look at it as a gift rather than just, it's a gift. We have the gift of time now. All those little household projects that you didn't have to do before. Now it's like, I can fix my gutters, or I can fix this, or I can fix that. So one question that's been bugging the heck out of me that I've been wanting to ask you all week, is there a Zen Teacher #2 book coming?
Well, I wouldn't call it that, but there is a book called Sanctuary: Self-Care Secrets for Stressed Out Teachers.
That's true.
And what I always say is, if the Zen Teacher book reminds you that you should take care of yourself, Sanctuary shows you how, because it's more of a workbook. There are step-by-step processes in there. And so that's one thing. And I'm working on a third book now. And one thing I want to go back to, you mentioned Dave Burgess, and I always like to mention this. First of all, he changed my life by helping me publish the book. And I don't know if you know this, you might have known this actually, but Dave Burgess was from my school. And
really?
I taught with him for years. And I always say, the story I love to tell is that, I could be in the mailbox room just kind of going through my mail, and I would look up and there would be Dave dressed as the Wicked Witch of the West or Rosie the Riveter. And I would be like, oh, hey, Dave, it was just a normal day.
It's just a normal day.
Just a normal day, And so it's so great to see the impact he's had, and that everybody gets to see what he was like and what he did at our school. So, because, the kids still talk about it. They still, love him, remember him. So yeah, he's definitely a life changer.
Dave saved my life at a time. I mean, it's basically someone gave me Teach Like a Pirate. And I just grasped onto that with all my might. And I'm still here. I mean, I was that first year, everyone has that first, second year that you kind of question yourself and you're like, is this right for me? Someone handed me that book and I'm still here. And
that was the year I taught sophomores. No, I'm teasing. I'm just teasing about this. I'm just kidding. I'm sort of kidding.
We got to tell Dave to stop publishing such great books, because I'm running out of room, man. I need like another room just to hold publishing like all the books, and they're still coming.
They are. And the funny thing about that is the Zen Teacher, I think, was early on. It was like book number 7. And then Sanctuaries was book number 60. So that tells you how fast that went, and what a great impact he's having. So.
And just imagine like our libraries and our professional libraries. And stuff. Imagine his. Like,
yeah.
He
He's got all kinds of stuff. And we didn't have any books like this that I remember. I mean, there were like 3 books when I started teaching about what you could do, and they were on my shelf, and I read them and I highlighted them, but nothing like the array of ideas and concepts that Dave has put out. He talks about disrupting education, and he certainly has. And
I think it's what is it? First
Day in a good way.
First Day in the Classroom by Wong. Is it Henry Wong or something like that?
See, again, you got to remember, I'm at least 10 years older than you. So
see,
I'm going all the way back to Assertive Discipline by Lee Cantor. That was one I remember that I had.
I remember I'm in Illinois, so I got to, I don't know if every state has to, but I have to know Charlotte Danielson by heart.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Vague.
Yeah. We had Madeline Hunter in the 5-step lesson plan.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah. That was the Bible. That was what we went by.
Oh, we had book studies. Like my first school, they had book studies and 5-day workshops and stuff. So and we're like, who is this person? It's like, you need to know her.
Yeah.
And Charlotte.
We thought about having book studies, but it was hard to carry the chisels and stone all the way around to everybody. So. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I need to dot the I's.
Yeah. Yeah. Our smartboard was the cave wall. So, what can you do?
So I never did ask, what do you teach at your school, sir?
I teach English. And right now teach 9th and 12th grade. I rarely teach seniors, but I had one class this year. And of course, look what happened, right? And in fact, this morning, I went to, back by my school, there was a Chick-fil-A, and they arranged to have the senior breakfast through the Chick-fil-A. And so the students all drove through the drive-through, and they were given a free breakfast. And the teachers lined the drive-through and waved and everything. And that was very special. We're just changing how we do this,
I think I saw your Facebook post where everyone was up and everything else.
I picture with the owl because it was Chick-fil-A, so it was so cool. I was very happy about that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's Chick-fil-A, but at least it's not a Sunday, because Sundays don't work.
That's true. They don't do the Sunday thing. No.
All right, sir. Looking at the time, I got 2 more things for you. First, is there anything you'd like to plug social media-wise? Anything that you want people to follow? Your podcast? Your anything going on?
Of course. Yeah, I just released a podcast episode called Same Stream, New Experience. It's on my Twitter profile. You can find it there. I just tweeted out right before this interview. I have an ebook of articles, blog posts called 2-Minute Zen. You can find that on my Twitter profile. Again, the Zen Teacher and Sanctuaries is always good for a few ideas on how to relax. And I think, one thing, since we only have a minute, is just I want to tell everybody, you're doing a great job. The way that teachers shifted from classroom to online in just a few days just is such a great reminder of what heroes you are to me. So thank you for doing that, and hang in there. We're going to get through this.
Definitely. And we thank you, Dan. I mean, definitely, we have pioneers out there like you helping us pave the way. So Dan Tricarico, thank you so much. Again, pushingboundaries.com, pushboundconsulting.com to download Recovery Mode. This is the Recovery Mode podcast. This is chapter 3. Next week is actually my chapter. So I don't know, but that's the thing. I haven't decided who's going to interview. Am I going to interview myself?
I talk to myself all the time, so it's okay.
So next week is chapter 4. Please, everyone, just remember, you're doing awesome out there. We all love you. Everyone's doing a great job. We don't know what the fall is going to come, what's going to happen in the fall, but we all know it's like, what are you doing to push boundaries in your classroom, either in the building or on a computer? So definitely. Dan, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
It was fun. I had a blast, Robert. Thank you.
Definitely. We'll talk soon. Everyone, please like and share, follow, whatever you want to do. And we'll be back next week with chapter 4. Bye, guys.